Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, your mind racing like a runaway train, replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow, and feeling a profound sense of unease? Have you ever felt adrift in a sea of constant notifications, relentless demands, and an overwhelming sense of inner noise that you just can't seem to silence? This feeling, this quiet desperation for a moment of true calm, is a hallmark of our modern existence. It's a silent struggle shared by millions, a deep yearning for a state of being that feels increasingly out of reach, the state of inner peace. We live in an age of unprecedented connectivity and information, yet we often feel more disconnected and uncertain than ever before. Our peace is fragile, easily shattered by an unexpected email, a critical comment on social media, a piece of bad news, or the simple, crushing weight of our own expectations. We chase happiness in external achievements, possessions, and the approval of others, only to find that these things are fleeting and our inner turmoil remains. This constant state of reactivity, anxiety, and distraction is the fundamental conflict of our time, a battle for serenity waged within our own minds every single day. But what if I told you that there exists a timeless, battle-tested operating system for the human mind, designed specifically to navigate this chaos? What if the solution wasn't a new app, a trendy wellness fad, or a complex spiritual doctrine, but an ancient philosophy, forged in the fires of Roman politics, exile, and personal hardship? This philosophy is Stoicism. And today, here at Stoic Understanding, we will explore not its history, but its profound and practical application as a direct path to finding the inner peace you seek, not someday, but right now, in the midst of your modern life. The great Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, Seneca, the playwright and advisor, and Epictetus, the former slave turned revered teacher, were not detached academics. They were men of action, living in a world as unpredictable and stressful as our own. They understood that the key to a tranquil life, a life of unshakable calm, does not lie in changing the world around us. It lies in mastering the world within us. Their wisdom is not about eliminating emotion, but about transforming it. It is not about being passive, but about being powerfully, purposefully, and peacefully in control of what truly matters. This journey we are about to embark on is a practical one. It requires no special equipment, only your willingness to look inward and question the very nature of your disturbances. We will unpack the core principles of Stoicism, not as abstract ideas, but as concrete tools you can begin using immediately. Think of this as a blueprint for building what the Stoics called an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind, impervious to the chaos of the external world. So, take a deep breath, and let us begin the foundational work of reclaiming your inner peace. The first and most crucial cornerstone of this entire philosophy, the master key that unlocks the door to tranquility, was articulated most clearly by Epictetus. He stated a simple but revolutionary idea, that some things in life are within our control and others are not. This concept, known as the dichotomy of control, is the single most powerful tool for immediately reducing anxiety. What is truly in our control? Only our own thoughts, our judgments, our choices, our actions, and our will. That's it. That is the entirety of our kingdom. Now, consider what is not in our control. This list is vastly longer. It includes our bodies, our health, our reputation, what other people think of us, the economy, the weather, the past, and the future. The Stoics observed that the vast majority of human suffering, anxiety, and frustration stems from a single, fundamental error: We try to exert control over things that are inherently uncontrollable, while simultaneously neglecting the one domain where we have absolute sovereignty, our own mind. This is the root of our inner turmoil. Let's make this intensely practical. Think about the last time you felt a surge of anger or frustration while stuck in traffic. You were likely upset because you believed you should be moving, that the traffic should not be there. You were fighting reality. A Stoic, applying the dichotomy of control, would immediately recognize that the flow of traffic is entirely outside their sphere of influence. Wasting emotional energy on it is illogical. What is in their control? Their response. They can choose to listen to a podcast, practice mindful breathing, or simply accept the moment for what it is. The traffic jam remains, but the inner suffering vanishes. Consider your professional life. You spend weeks perfecting a presentation, but your boss barely pays attention or a client rejects the proposal. The common response is frustration, self-doubt, and resentment. The Stoic approach is different. The effort you put into the presentation, the quality of your work, the integrity of your preparation, that was all within your control, and you should take pride in that. The final reaction of your boss or client, however, is based on their own mood, priorities, and perspective, which are entirely outside your control. By focusing your self-worth on your actions, not the outcome, you become immune to the sting of external validation. This principle extends powerfully to our social lives, especially in the age of social media. You post something you are proud of, and it is met with silence or a negative comment. The desire to be liked, to be approved of, is a powerful driver of anxiety. But the opinions of others are one of the most classic examples of what is not in our control. Trying to manage your reputation in the minds of thousands is an impossible, exhausting task. The Stoic path is to focus on living virtuously, on being a good person according to your own principles. Your character is in your control, your reputation is not. This distinction is the source of profound freedom. The practical application, the daily exercise, is to become a mindful gatekeeper of your thoughts. Whenever you feel a negative emotion begin to rise, be it anger, anxiety, or jealousy, pause and ask this simple question. Is the cause of this feeling something that is within my control or outside of it? If it is outside your control, then recognize that your emotional disturbance is coming not from the event itself, but from your judgment about the event. You can then consciously choose to withdraw that judgment, to let go of your desire to control the uncontrollable, and to preserve your inner peace. The transformation that occurs when you consistently practice this is nothing short of life-changing. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become an architect of your experience. Your emotional energy, once squandered on pointless frustrations, is now conserved for what truly matters: your own choices, your relationships, and your personal growth. You develop a calm, centered presence. External events may be stormy, but your inner citadel remains untouched. This isn't about apathy. It's about strategic and intelligent engagement with the world, focusing your power where it has an actual effect. So the first Stoic reminder for finding inner peace is this: focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. Engrave this on your mind. Let it be the filter through which you view every challenge and every frustration. This single principle, practiced daily, will extinguish a significant portion of your anxiety and clear the ground for a more tranquil existence. It is the firm foundation upon which all other Stoic practices are built, the starting point of your journey back to yourself. With this foundation laid, we can now address one of the most persistent thieves of our present peace, our anxiety about the future. The human mind is a prediction machine, constantly running simulations of what might go wrong. We worry about losing our job, about our health failing, about our relationships ending. This constant stream of what-ifs creates a low-grade, chronic anxiety that prevents us from ever fully inhabiting the present moment. We live in a future that hasn't happened and may never happen, and we suffer for it in the here and now. The Stoics were masters of managing this future-oriented anxiety. They developed a powerful technique that, at first glance, seems counterintuitive. It is called premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. Far from being pessimistic, this is a psychological inoculation against fear and despair. The philosopher Seneca advised that we should regularly and calmly contemplate the worst-case scenarios in our lives, not to dwell on them morbidly, but to rehearse them mentally in order to strip them of their power. Let's apply this. Perhaps you have a deep-seated fear of public speaking. The week before a major presentation, your mind is filled with images of failure. You forget your words, the audience looks bored, your boss is disappointed. This anxiety drains your energy. The Stoic approach would be to sit down quietly and intentionally walk through that worst-case scenario. Imagine it in detail. You stumble over your words. You lose your place. What would you actually do next? You might take a sip of water, consult your notes, and calmly restart. The audience might be momentarily awkward, but they would likely forget it within minutes. Your boss might be disappointed, but it would be one event in a long career. By mentally rehearsing the disaster, you achieve two things. First, you often realize that the worst-case scenario, while unpleasant, is survivable. You have resources and coping mechanisms you hadn't considered. The imagined catastrophe loses its monstrous, undefined shape and becomes a manageable problem. Second, you desensitize yourself to the fear. You have faced it in your mind, and it has not destroyed you. This practice transforms fear from a paralyzing terror into a practical challenge for which you are now prepared, significantly increasing your confidence and reducing your anxiety. This practice should be applied to all of life's significant domains. Contemplate the loss of your job. What steps would you take? You would update your resume, network with contacts, and reduce your expenses. Contemplate a financial downturn. How would you adapt? By having mentally rehearsed these possibilities, you are no longer terrified by them. You have a plan. This is the essence of Stoic resilience. It is not hoping for the best. It is preparing for the worst, which paradoxically allows you to enjoy the present with a far greater sense of security and peace. Complementing this preparation is another profound Stoic concept, amor fati, or the love of fate. This idea, most famously articulated by Nietzsche, but with deep roots in Stoicism, is the practice of not just accepting but embracing everything that happens in your life as necessary and good. It is the ultimate antidote to regret and bitterness. It is the belief that every obstacle, every setback, and every challenge is a necessary part of your unique path, an opportunity for growth that could not have happened any other way. When an unexpected event disrupts your plans, a project fails, a relationship ends, an opportunity is lost, the typical reaction is to resist, to say, "This shouldn't be happening." This resistance is a source of immense suffering. Amor fati invites a different response. It invites you to say, "This is my path. This event, exactly as it is meant for me. What can I learn from it? How can I use it to become stronger, wiser, and more virtuous? This transforms you from a passive victim of fate into an active and willing participant in your own life story. The practical application of amor fati involves a subtle but powerful shift in your internal monologue. When faced with adversity, catch the thoughts of resistance. Replace "why is this happening to me?" with "what is this teaching me?" See every event not as a roadblock but as raw material. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that a rational mind can convert every obstacle into material for itself to work on, just as fire consumes whatever is thrown into it and burns brighter. Your challenges become fuel for your inner fire. The transformation that arises from combining premeditatio malorum and amor fati is profound. You develop a quiet confidence that you can handle whatever life throws at you. The future loses its terror because you are prepared for its difficulties and willing to embrace its outcomes. This frees you to live fully and joyfully in the present moment, released from the chains of anxiety and what-if scenarios. You find peace not because you have a guarantee of a comfortable future, but because you have cultivated an unconquerable mind. Thus, our second Stoic reminder for inner peace is a two-part mantra: prepare for the worst and embrace what comes. By mentally preparing for adversity, you rob it of its shock value. By lovingly accepting your fate, you turn every event, good or bad, into an opportunity for virtue and growth. This is how you make peace with the uncertainty of the future and find tranquility in the ever-present now. This is a core practice you will find discussed often here at Stoic Understanding. We have addressed the things we cannot control and the anxieties of the future. Now, let us turn to one of the most common and persistent sources of daily disturbance: other people. How often is our inner peace disrupted by the actions, words, or inactions of a colleague, a family member, or a stranger on the internet? We get angry when someone is rude, frustrated when someone is incompetent, and hurt when someone is inconsiderate. We allow the behavior of others to dictate our own emotional state. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, dedicated much of their thought to this very problem. Living at the center of Roman power, Marcus dealt with deceitful senators, incompetent generals, and ungrateful citizens daily. His solution was not to isolate himself, but to develop a psychological framework for understanding and interacting with others that preserved his own tranquility. His first tool was a shift in perspective, a practice often called the view from above. The view from above is a powerful meditation. In your mind's eye, you zoom out from your immediate situation. You see yourself in your room, then your city, then your country. You continue zooming out, seeing the earth as a small blue marble in the vast, silent darkness of space. You see all of human history, with its empires rising and falling, its countless generations living and dying. From this cosmic perspective, you then zoom back in on the specific conflict that is bothering you, that rude email, that argument with a loved one. From this vantage point, the problem that seemed so enormous and all-consuming just moments before now appears in its true proportion, incredibly small. The insult, the slight, the disagreement, it is a tiny, fleeting event on a tiny planet in an incomprehensibly vast universe. This practice does not invalidate your feelings, but it provides a profound sense of perspective. It helps you to detach from the immediate emotional intensity of a situation and to see it with the calm, rational part of your mind, preventing you from overreacting to trivialities. The second tool Marcus Aurelius gives us is a daily exercise in empathy and understanding. He would begin each morning by telling himself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." He did this not to become cynical, but to prepare himself. He then reminded himself that the people who behave this way do so out of ignorance of what is truly good and evil. They are not intentionally malicious. They are simply mistaken in their understanding of the world. This is a radical reframing of human interaction. When someone is rude to you, your first instinct is to take it personally. They disrespected me. The Stoic response is to depersonalize it. This person is acting from a place of ignorance, stress, or pain. Their behavior is a symptom of their own inner state, not a judgment on my worth. This doesn't mean you condone their behavior or become a doormat. You can still address the situation firmly and set boundaries, but you do so from a place of calm understanding rather than reactive anger. The practical application is to make this your default hypothesis. When someone cuts you off in traffic, assume they are rushing to the hospital, not that they are a terrible person. When a colleague is dismissive, assume they are under immense pressure you know nothing about. You may be wrong, but this assumption serves your inner peace. It prevents you from creating a narrative of personal offense and allows you to respond with reason instead of rage. You are choosing to interpret events in the way that is most conducive to your own tranquility. The transformation here is a shift from irritation to compassion. You begin to see difficult people not as adversaries, but as fellow human beings struggling with their own flawed understanding of the world. This dissolves resentment and replaces it with a sense of forbearance. Your relationships improve because you are less reactive and more understanding. Most importantly, you reclaim the power you had been giving away. You no longer allow the poor behavior of others to have jurisdiction over your own inner state. Your peace becomes your own responsibility, and therefore truly your own. This leads to our third Stoic reminder for inner peace. See events from a cosmic perspective and people with compassionate understanding. By zooming out, you shrink your problems. By looking for the ignorance behind malice, you neutralize the sting of personal offense. This is how you navigate the complex world of human relationships without sacrificing your own calm. You become a stable, rational presence in a world that is often anything but. We have now built a defense against external chaos, future anxiety, and social friction. But there is one final, internal realm we must address to secure a lasting peace: our relationship with desire and happiness. Our culture teaches us that peace and happiness are found by getting things: a better job, a bigger house, more followers, the perfect partner. We are caught in what is often called the hedonic treadmill, constantly striving for the next thing, believing it will finally bring us lasting contentment, only to find the feeling fades and we are left wanting more. The Stoics saw this endless chase as a primary source of human misery. They proposed a radical alternative. True happiness and inner peace are not found in external things, but in cultivating an excellent inner character. The only true good, they argued, is virtue. Virtue is a combination of 4 key qualities: wisdom, understanding the world correctly; justice, treating others fairly; courage, facing challenges with fortitude; and temperance, mastering our desires. Everything else, health, wealth, reputation, they classified as preferred indifference. It's nice to have them, but they have no bearing on your worth as a person and are not necessary for a good, peaceful life. This is a profound reorientation of one's entire life. It means shifting your focus from "what can I acquire" to "how can I act." The goal is not to have the most, but to be the best version of yourself in any given moment. This puts the source of your happiness squarely within your own control. You cannot always control how much money you have, but you can always control whether you act with honesty and integrity. You cannot control whether someone likes you, but you can always control whether you treat them with justice and kindness. The practical application of this principle is to reevaluate your goals and your daily habits. For any goal you are pursuing, ask yourself, am I chasing this for its own sake or because I believe it will make me happy? If it's the latter, you are setting a trap for yourself. Instead, focus on the virtues you can express in the pursuit of that goal. Instead of aiming for a promotion for the sake of status, aim to be the most diligent, helpful, and creative employee you can be. The promotion may or may not come, but your excellence of character and the deep satisfaction that comes from it is guaranteed. Another powerful practice is that of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you lack, the Stoics advised regularly contemplating what you already have. Seneca wrote that we should treat all our possessions as if they were on loan from fortune, to be enjoyed fully while we have them, but ready to be returned without bitterness when the time comes. This mindset cultivates a deep appreciation for the simple things in life, our health, our relationships, a quiet moment, and breaks the spell of endless wanting. The transformation that occurs is the discovery of an inner wealth that no one can ever take from you. When your self-worth is tied to your character, you are unshakable. A market crash cannot diminish your integrity. A critical comment cannot tarnish your wisdom. You are freed from the exhausting and anxious chase for external validation. You find a stable, enduring contentment that comes from within. This is the ultimate inner peace, a state of being where you need nothing from the external world to feel whole and complete. This brings us to our final and most profound Stoic reminder on the path to inner peace. The only true good is a virtuous character, and the only source of lasting happiness is within. When you truly internalize this, the frantic search for peace ends, because you realize you were searching for it everywhere, except for the one place it has always been, inside your own mind, in your capacity to choose reason and virtue over reactivity and desire. So let us bring these threads together. The journey to inner peace, as illuminated by the Stoics, is not a passive retreat from the world. It is an active, rational, and courageous engagement with it. It begins with the foundational understanding of what you can and cannot control, freeing your energy from pointless struggle. It continues by preparing you for the future's uncertainties and teaching you to embrace your unique path, dissolving anxiety and regret. It then provides you with the tools to navigate your relationships with perspective and compassion, insulating you from the turmoil caused by others. Finally, it redefines the very meaning of a good life, shifting your focus from the fleeting pursuit of external things to the enduring cultivation of your own character. Each of these principles is a tool, and like any tool, it becomes more effective with practice. This is not about achieving a perfect, unbroken state of bliss. Even Marcus Aurelius had bad days. It is about having the framework and the mental exercises to return to your center, to your inner citadel, whenever you are thrown off balance. It is about reducing the frequency and duration of your disturbances. The peace that Stoicism offers is not a fragile, delicate thing that can only exist in perfect conditions. It is a resilient, robust tranquility that is forged in the midst of life's challenges. It is the calm of the deep ocean, which remains undisturbed regardless of the storms raging on the surface. This is the peace that is available to you today. It begins with your very next thought, your very next choice. It begins when you decide to stop being a passive recipient of your mental state and start being an active cultivator of it. Remember the 4 great reminders we have discussed. First, focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. This is your shield against frustration. Second, prepare for the worst and embrace what comes. This is your antidote to anxiety. Third, see events from a cosmic perspective and people with compassionate understanding. This is your balm for social friction. And fourth, remember that the only true good is a virtuous character. This is your compass, pointing you toward a source of unshakable contentment. The path of the Stoic is a path of continuous self-improvement and self-awareness. It is a lifelong commitment to living in accordance with reason and nature. The rewards are not fame or fortune, but something infinitely more valuable: self-mastery, resilience, and a profound, enduring inner peace that the world can neither give nor take away. This is the promise of Stoicism, a promise that has been fulfilled for countless individuals over more than 2 millennia, and it is a promise that is extended to you now. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If these ideas have resonated with you, if you feel that this is a path worth walking, then I encourage you to subscribe to Stoic Understanding. We will continue to delve into these principles, offering practical guidance and deeper insights to support you on your journey. The quest for wisdom is a collaborative one. Let us walk it together. Your journey to inner peace has already begun. The final Stoic reminder is simply this: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength,